The story doesn't begin in Metropolis. It doesn't begin with a hopeful rocket landing in a Kansas cornfield, wrapped in a red blanket. It begins in the dirt, deep inside a Lazarus Corporation diamond mine in Brazil. The air here is thick with red dust. The heat is unbearable. Hundreds of men break their backs, digging for stones they will never afford. And among them is a man they call Kal. He has long matted hair. His skin is stained with grease and earth. He doesn't speak. He doesn't complain. He just digs. Looking at him, you would never guess that he is the most powerful being on the planet. You would never guess that he is a ghost. He isn't digging for diamonds. He is hiding. In his ear, a voice speaks to him. It isn't a god. It isn't a ghost. It is Sol, the artificial intelligence inside his suit. Sol warns him, "Do not draw attention, Kal. Keep your head down. Your power levels are fluctuating. You are not safe here." But Kal ignores the machine, because he sees something the computer doesn't. He sees the peacemakers. Towering over the workers are the peacemakers, cold, robotic enforcers built to keep the labourers afraid. They are heavily armed, metallic beasts that answer to the Lazarus Corporation. One of the machines steps forward, raising a mechanized whip to strike an exhausted old man who collapsed in the mud. The whip cracks down, but it never hits the target. A hand catches it. Kal's hand. The robot tries to pull back, but Kal doesn't budge. He is an immovable object. He looks up, and for the first time we see his eyes. They aren't burning with heat vision. They are burning with memory. Suddenly, the mine in Brazil fades away. We are on Krypton. But this isn't the crystal utopia you know. This is a dying world, choked by industry. We see Kal's parents, Jor-El and Lara, but they aren't wearing the white robes of the Science League. They are wearing grease-stained jumpsuits. In this universe, the House of El were not kings. They were labourers. They were the mechanics who tightened the bolts on the arcs that carried the elites to safety. And on their chest they wore a symbol. Not an S for hope, but a mark of the Labour Guild. A brand that meant they were disposable. And when the planet died, the elites left them behind to burn. Back in the mine, Kal remembers the fire. He remembers the ash. And suddenly, that ash begins to manifest around him. On his chest, beneath the grime, something begins to glow. Not a bright, hopeful yellow, but a jagged shield of molten, angry orange magma. Sol screams in his ear, "Warning! Energy levels critical! Disengage!" But Kal doesn't disengage. He launches himself. He slams into the peacemaker with the force of a falling meteor. It isn't a hero's fight. It is a brawl. It is brutal. It is violent. He tears the machine apart with his bare hands, the metal shredding like paper. More peacemakers arrive. They open fire. Bullets bounce off his skin like rain. Lasers deflect off the molten shield. For the first time in his life, Kal stops hiding. He is a one-man revolution. The peacemakers are scrap metal. The workers look at him with fear and awe. He is breathing heavy. The dust is settling around his glowing chest. This is the moment the world discovers Superman. And this is the moment you should discover this channel. If you are loving this cinematic breakdown, hit that subscribe button right now. We are covering every single issue of the Absolute Universe. Batman, Wonder Woman, and Flash. Don't miss the next chapter. But the fight isn't over. As Kal stands amidst the wreckage, a helicopter descends. A tactical team rappels down. They aren't robots. They are humans. Elite mercenaries for the Lazarus Corporation. And leading them is a woman. She steps out of the shadows, holding a high-tech rifle. She doesn't look like a reporter. She doesn't have a press pass. She has a badge. Her name is Agent Lois Lane. In this universe, Lois isn't writing stories for the Daily Planet. She is a soldier. She is an enforcer for the very corrupt system Superman hates. She looks at Kal, this alien covered in dust and blood, and she doesn't see a hero. She sees a target. She aims her weapon and says, "Target acquired. You are coming with me." She slaps a pair of high-tech cuffs on him. Kal looks at her. Betrayed by a universe that put his soulmate on the wrong side of the war. This is not the story of a god coming down to save us. This is the story of a man climbing up from the dirt to save himself. He has no fortress of solitude. He has no Kents. And now, the love of his life is his enemy. This is Absolute Superman. And the war has just begun.